Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Yes, it is time, Catholic pilgrims. It is time for day 155 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. Today we are going to be talking about leaving things better off than when you first get somewhere, whether that be a job or a parish or even your neighborhood. Anywhere you go, we should always leave it better, even if we don't see the full fruits of what we were intending before we leave. So we will be reading from Notebook 2 today, numbers 709 through 713. October 3rd, 1936. During the rosary today, I suddenly saw a ciborium with the Blessed Sacrament. The ciborium was uncovered and quite filled with hosts. From the ciborium came a voice, "These hosts have been received by souls converted through your prayer and suffering." At this point, I felt God's presence as a child would. I felt strangely like a child. When one day I felt I would be unable to carry on till 9 and asked S.N. for something to eat because I was going to bed earlier as I was not feeling well, S.N. answered, "But you are not ill, sister. They only wanted you to have some rest, so they made up the illness." Oh, my Jesus, my illness is so far advanced that the doctor has separated me from the sisters to prevent them from becoming infected, and yet one is judged in this way. But that's good. All this is for you, my Jesus. I do not want to write much about external matters, for they are not the reason for my writing. I want in particular to note the graces granted me by the Lord, because these are not only for me, but for many other souls as well. October 5th, 1936. Today I received a letter from Father Sapotsko. I learned that he intends to publish a holy card of the Merciful Christ. He asked me to send him a certain prayer which he wants to put on the back if he receives the Archbishop's appropriation. Oh, what great joy fills my heart that God has let me see this work of his mercy. How great is this work of the Most High God! I am but his instrument. Oh, how ardently I desire to see this feast of the divine mercy which God is demanding through me. But if it is the will of God that it be celebrated solemnly only after my death, even so I rejoice in it already, and I celebrate it interiorly with my confessor's permission. I saw Father Andrés today, kneeling and engulfed in prayer, and suddenly Jesus stood by him, and holding out both hands over his head, he said to me, "He will lead you through. Do not fear." October 11th. This evening, as I was writing about this great mercy of God and its great advantage to souls, Satan rushed into my room with great anger and fury. He seized the screen and began to break and crush it. I was a little frightened at first, but I immediately made the sign of the cross with my little crucifix, and the beast fell quiet and disappeared at once. Today, I did not see this hideous figure, but only his anger. Satan's anger is terrible, and yet the screen was not shattered or broken, and I went on writing quietly. I know well that the wretch will not touch me without God's willing it, but what is he up to? He is beginning to attack me openly, and with such great fury and hate, but he does not disturb my peace for a moment, and this composure of mine makes him furious. I really love this last visual of her at the very end being attacked by Satan. I don't love that part, but just the fact that she's like, "No, you're not going to upset my composure. I am going to sit here and I'm going to write, and I'm not going to let you disturb my peace for one moment," and how intensely that infuriates Satan. But, I could just visualize her sitting there just as cool as a cucumber, even though Satan is raging around her and, trying to attack her. She is not going to let him disturb her. And I love that courage, that bravery, that strength. That's very, very impressive. So what I said I wanted to talk about at the beginning was leaving things better than when we first get somewhere. And so we see here today, Sister Faustina is in the sanatorium, and she is ill. She has tuberculosis. If you have the little numbers, you can read in the back that she has been separated from any other ill sisters in order to prevent the spreading of the disease. And, she's probably all by herself. And as she's sitting here, she talks about how she gets a letter from Father Sapotsko, and he's making these holy cards. And she's so happy that everything seems to be falling into place. And then she says, "Oh, what great joy fills my heart that God has let me see this work of his great mercy. Oh, how ardently I desire to see the feast of the divine mercy which God is demanding through me. But if it is the will of God that it be celebrated solemnly only after my death, even so I rejoice in it already." And so we see here this kind of recognition within Sister Faustina that she knows that she may not see everything come to fruition. And she's okay with that. She's okay with knowing that this hard task that God has set her on, she may not see the fruits of it, the full fruits of it. She's starting to see some things, and she's very happy about that. But she recognizes that she may leave this earth before fully seeing everything come about as Christ is intending. And, I was talking to my husband the other day, and he is the squadron commander over here in Turkey. And it's only a 1-year assignment. And so it's very, very short. 1 year is not a lot of time to learn an entire squadron and lead it and do it well while everybody gets used to you and you learn your job and you are in another country. And so there's language issues and there's just cultural issues that you have to learn and all these things. It's just not a lot of time in reality. And so my husband has just hit the ground running, and he has really, really tried to improve his squadron to the best of his abilities. He's an engineer. When he sees problems, he wants to fix it, and he hates the status quo. And so he has implemented a lot of new change. That's really good to boost morale and help people really and fully understand what their purpose here is when they're here in Izmir. But a lot of the things that he's implemented will have to be carried on by the next guy. And my husband was telling me how hard that is going to be for him. And I can completely understand that. That seems like it would be very hard to put in place things that you hope are going to make your squadron better, but you may never see it come to fruition. But my husband said, but I wanted to leave the squadron better than when I first got here. And, if I've done that, and when I leave, if it's better and the morale is good and the people are mostly happy, because you're not going to please everybody, that is something that we have learned. He's like, I will have been successful, and I will hope that the next guy carries on those things that I want to. And that's how we have to look at life. We don't know for sure how long we're going to be at any one place, whether that be a parish or a neighborhood or a school or, a job. And you have to go in with the attitude that I want to make this place better when I leave than when I first got here. And if I don't see the full fruits of it, I still want to try. I still want to get things going in motion, because that's the right thing to do. I want to make it better for the next group of people that are coming down the pipeline who may benefit from any positive changes or any reforms that I put into place. And so, just listening to Sister Faustina recognize and realize that, her death may come before, the entire package of the divine mercy gets spread out to the world. It's just, in a way, it makes you sad because she's tried so hard and she's worked so hard. But in another way, she's doing it for all the right reasons, because this is not about self-glorification. This is about doing what Christ wants and doing what is good and right, even if she is not the one who gets all the glory or even sees the fruits of all of her labor. And that's the attitude that all of us should have, really, in every aspect of our lives. And if we all did that, gosh, Imagine how amazing things would be. So that is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I will see you back here for day 156. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.